Currently, it's about 12 a.m. As you can see, it's around midnight, just passed by 2 minutes. And I would like to share a little bit about a few reflections that I've had over the past few days. Reflection regarding on how we were raised to become a consumer rather than a producer. If you're watching this in YouTube right now, most likely you're going to become someone that is a consumer, and if you're not, and if you're a producer, then good for you. However, the reality is society is most likely programmed, is actually made to program most people to become a consumer. Most people, and that includes me, are a consumer now. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and maybe most people aren't consumers, and this is just for me, but in the very least, in my case, I was indeed raised to become a consumer. Ever since I was a child, both parents of mine were actually working, and therefore there was less time spent on myself, I guess. However, I don't have any heartfelt feelings against my parents because I do believe that what they are doing is essential towards my development as well. But as such, I was left towards my own devices and eventually spent most of my days around consuming content, consuming cartoons, or eventually consuming anything I could to that I could consume to distract myself against like the boredom, you could say. However, that was when I was a child, when cartoons were still sufficient to satisfy the boredom. However, as I grew up, cartoons were no longer sufficient, and eventually it upgraded and it became games, video games. Video games became what fulfilled my boredom, what satisfied this sort of hole in myself that I could never have fulfilled ever since I was a child, of course. And this got me thinking. Ever since I was a child, and I believe this to be the case for many others as well, they have always been left towards their own devices, and they have been led to do the easy things. And what is the easy things actually? A child does not understand instant gratification and delayed gratification, of course. So naturally, they will do what is easy, which is consuming content. And consuming content, I believe most people did. And therefore, we were mostly raised to become consumers rather than producers instead. Now, imagine what life would be like if we actually became a producer instead of a consumer instead. What if we were the ones making the content and not consuming it? What if, let's say, instead of trying to read 10 books on how to become successful, we actually put the reps in and try to get the experience and get the money and get the things that are needed to achieve said success? What if we didn't consume, and what if we started doing the things we set out to do instead? Got me thinking about that. Because throughout our lives, we were just meant to consume, we were meant to mindlessly scroll away our lives away. These billion-dollar companies, they make all these apps, they make all this entertainment to take away our attention. They want us to become a consumer. And, and I say all of this and in hopes that you watching this will also self-reflect upon yourself, whether you are a consumer or a producer. But who knows, maybe in the future I do want you to become a consumer. I don't know. I don't know what it may be in the future, but do what is in your best interest, honestly. If you think becoming a consumer would best serve your purpose right now, then go ahead. But if you've been a consumer throughout your whole lives and you've never become a producer, I would highly suggest anyone to become a producer at that situation. If you're someone like me, for example, who spent 90% of my life becoming a consumer rather than a producer, then highly suggest anyone in my situation or in any way similar to it to consider at least becoming a producer for a month straight, at least to become someone who keeps hammering down, putting the reps in, and trying to make something rather than consuming it. Let's say you, and this does not really apply to anyone. Like if you've been a producer throughout your entire lives, and then by all means go ahead, become a consumer, read 10 books on how to improve your craft. If your the thing that you're producing is no longer efficient, if it's not anymore giving you the returns that you want, by all means consume content, consume the knowledge you need to uh, improve in your craft. However, for most people, if you're watching this, most likely you're not the kind of person who has become a producer throughout their lives. No, most likely you're a consumer, and most consumers are consuming mindless brain rot content nowadays. It's not really valuable anymore. So consume the content you actually need, if you need them, and try to become a producer instead. Love you. Bye.